Elon Musk, the founder and CEO of SpaceX, announced a major strategic shift in the company's objectives, declaring that SpaceX will now prioritize building a self-growing city on the moon over an immediate Mars settlement, a move that reflects both practical considerations and evolving ambitions in space exploration. Reporting from Reuters confirms that Musk made this announcement in an X social media post on February 8, 2026, writing that the Moon City project could be achieved in less than 10 years, and that this goal has become the overriding priority for SpaceX as it seeks to secure the future of human civilization beyond Earth. Musk's decision marks a significant departure from his earlier emphasis on Mars, where SpaceX had publicly discussed timelines that once pointed toward uncrewed missions in 2026 and eventual human settlement. Instead, the moon is viewed as a more immediate and feasible objective due to several logistical advantages: shorter travel times of approximately 2 days and the potential to launch missions at much higher cadence, on the order of every 10 days, compared with the infrequent planetary launch windows required for Mars missions. Musk's rationale highlights the basic physics of interplanetary travel. Mars alignment with Earth only occurs approximately every 26 months, with travel durations of around 6 months, whereas lunar missions can be undertaken frequently because the Earth-Moon system allows for more regular access. According to coverage drawing on Musk's own statements, this ability to iterate rapidly on lunar operations allows SpaceX to test and refine technologies in a way that would be far slower if executed primarily toward Mars, thus making the moon a proving ground and infrastructure hub that could underpin future ambitions deeper into the solar system. While SpaceX still affirms its long-term vision of human settlement on Mars, Musk specified that work on a Martian city would be deferred to begin in about 5 to 7 years after lunar settlement efforts are underway. This positioning underscores a pragmatic recalibration of timelines and resources, acknowledging the tremendous technical and economic challenges inherent in reaching and developing sustained habitation on Mars, while still keeping Mars within SpaceX's multi-planetary vision. SpaceX's pivot to the moon acknowledges the significant advantages that Earth's closest celestial neighbor offers for near-term human expansion and infrastructure development, and this emphasis has deep practical roots as well as strategic implications. Coverage based on Musk's statements highlights that lunar missions can occur with a much higher frequency than Martian missions because the orbital mechanics that govern interplanetary travel impose stark constraints on Mars access. Windows for Mars arrival open roughly every 26 months and entail approximately 6 months of transit each way, whereas lunar missions may be launched every 10 days with travel times measured in just a couple of days. Musk has stated explicitly that this difference in frequency and travel time makes it possible to iterate more rapidly on the engineering, logistics, and operational processes that underlie a permanent human settlement. In his view, this rapid iteration will accelerate the development of infrastructure such as habitats, life support systems, energy farms, and other essential elements that a self-growing city will require, allowing SpaceX and its partners to refine concepts in the comparatively benign environment of near-Earth space rather than in the hostile and distant Martian environment. Reuters reporting further underscores the logic of this strategic realignment, noting that the moon, last visited by humans in 1972 during the U.S. Apollo program, remains a frontier of intense international interest, with global competition already building as the United States, China, and other nations pursue new lunar missions. Mars, by contrast, remains further out on the horizon, with SpaceX's own earlier timelines for uncrewed missions being adjusted as the company reprioritizes its resources toward lunar activities. The strategic advantage of the moon also lies in its proximity and relative immediacy. The smaller distance from Earth reduces communication lag to just a few seconds, facilitates emergency return options, and lowers the cost and complexity of transporting materials, personnel, and equipment. These characteristics make the moon an attractive staging ground for developing the technological and logistical foundations of long-duration human habitation, as well as for potential manufacturing and resource extraction activities that might one day support deeper space missions. The moon thus functions not only as a destination in itself, but as a critical proving ground where SpaceX and other entities can build operational experience, refine systems, and reduce risk before attempting sustained human presence on Mars or beyond. This pragmatic logic is central to Musk's argument that lunar settlement, rather than being a distraction from other ambitions, actually serves as a foundation for a broader multi-planetary strategy. SpaceX's new focus on a lunar city comes with a series of associated timelines and milestones that reflect both near-term activities and longer-term aspirations, grounding the ambitious vision in concrete objectives already visible in reporting. According to a Wall Street Journal report cited by Reuters, SpaceX has communicated to investors that it intends to pursue an uncrewed lunar landing by March 2027, marking a significant precursor to any broader settlement efforts on the moon. This uncrewed landing, if achieved, would be an early demonstration of the viability of SpaceX's Starship launch system for lunar operations, validating the performance of both the spacecraft and landing systems under real mission conditions. The Starship system itself represents SpaceX's most advanced launch vehicle, designed to be fully reusable and capable of transporting large payloads to the Moon, Mars, and other deep space destinations, and it has been central to the company's long-term strategy for expanding human presence beyond Earth. While the 2027 target focuses on uncrewed missions, it is part of a broader cadence that observers and analysts expect will lead to more complex lunar operations in the latter half of this decade. Musk's 2026 announcement reaffirmed that SpaceX still intends to pursue Mars settlement, planning to begin foundational work on a Martian city in approximately 5 to 7 years, even as the Moon takes precedence. In Musk's own words, the overriding priority is to secure the future of civilization, and the Moon has become a logical first step because it is faster to reach and to iterate on than Mars. This does not mean that SpaceX will abandon Mars. Rather, Musk's commentary suggests that operations on the Moon will inform and support later Martian ambitions, with technical learnings, infrastructure, and perhaps even supply chains developed in lunar orbit and on the surface. The planned milestone of an uncrewed lunar mission by early 2027, therefore, becomes a linchpin in this broader strategy, serving both as a proof of concept for more advanced lunar activity and as a bridge to eventual crewed missions and settlement efforts. These milestones place SpaceX at the center of an evolving global space landscape in which the Moon is increasingly viewed as a priority objective for both scientific discovery and human expansion. The strategic shift toward a lunar city must also be understood within the larger context of global competition in space exploration and changing funding dynamics within SpaceX's business model, as reflected in reported information. Reuters reporting highlights that the United States faces intense competition from China in the effort to return humans to the lunar surface this decade, a dynamic that has sharpened focus on lunar activities among both government agencies and private enterprises. No human has walked on the Moon since the Apollo 17 mission in 1972, and renewed efforts by multiple nations and commercial actors underscore the Moon's contemporary significance as a frontier for space leadership. This competition provides an external impetus for SpaceX's lunar prioritization, as securing a leadership role on the Moon could reinforce the company's strategic position and support broader goals for future exploration. Financial factors also play a role in SpaceX's evolving priorities. Musk has noted that NASA will constitute less than 5% of SpaceX's revenue this year, underscoring a shift away from reliance on government contracts toward commercial ventures such as the Starlink satellite internet network. Starlink has become a significant revenue source for the company, and this commercial success provides a financial foundation for investing in long-term, high-risk projects such as lunar settlement. At the same time, SpaceX is contemplating a public offering that could raise as much as $50 billion, potentially making it one of the largest IPOs in history. Such an infusion of capital would expand the company's ability to fund ambitious space projects, including lunar city planning, development of infrastructure, and advanced propulsion technologies needed for sustained presence beyond Earth. Another strategic component is SpaceX's acquisition of xAI, Musk's artificial intelligence company, which analysts view as bolstering the firm's capabilities in space-based data centers and AI-enabled operations, potentially enhancing its competitive edge in lunar and deep space missions. All of these funding and strategic moves occur against the backdrop of shifting government policy, international competition, and the broader commercialization of space, positioning SpaceX as a pivotal player in shaping humanity's next steps beyond Earth's orbit. At its core, Musk's announcement about prioritizing a lunar settlement reflects a larger vision of humanity's future in space, one that balances near-term feasibility with long-term aspirations for becoming a multi-planetary species. While Mars has often been portrayed as the ultimate objective, SpaceX's recalibration acknowledges the profound challenges of reaching and sustaining life on the red planet and leverages the Moon as an intermediate platform, where technologies, infrastructure, and human experience can mature. This approach is grounded in the practical advantages of the lunar environment, including accessibility, reduced distance from Earth, and the ability to conduct frequent missions that accelerate learning and development. The concept of a self-growing city envisions not just a base of operations, but a dynamic human settlement that could expand over time, incorporating habitats, manufacturing facilities, and systems that generate their own growth, a bold reimagining of what permanent human presence beyond Earth might look like. While details about the exact nature and capabilities of such a city remain high-level at this stage, the emphasis on iterative development and rapid mission cadence signals a shift from visionary statements to actionable milestones, beginning with uncrewed lunar missions and advancing toward more complex activities. At the same time, SpaceX's continued commitment to Mars, slated to begin foundational work in 5 to 7 years, underscores that the lunar focus is not an abandonment of Mars, but a strategic pacing that aligns ambition with feasibility. The broader implications of this pivot extend beyond SpaceX, shaping international efforts in space exploration, influencing government-based policies, and redefining how humanity conceptualizes permanent presence on other celestial bodies. A successful lunar city could serve as a proving ground for future outposts on Mars and beyond, demonstrating the viability of sustained human activity off Earth and inspiring new generations of scientists, engineers, and explorers. As competition from other nations intensifies and commercial space ventures expand, the realization of a lunar city within the next decade would represent a historic milestone in human space exploration, marking the first major step toward establishing civilization off Earth and fundamentally transforming humanity's relationship with the cosmos.